walk. But today we walked around in the house and we ate.
Okay.
Well, thanks for being with us, everyone. My name is Dr. Curt Fisnick, and it's a great day. We're learning more and more every day on how to stay healthy. There's just more science on it. When we brought technology together with the new knowledge on biochemistry, holy cow, we came up with some fantastic products just over the last 20 years, Katie. Think about how this market has just evolved. The products that we have is just amazing. And every day I read more and more on how it's evolving. Just a couple of days ago, 2 days ago, I was down at Mayo Clinic with my dad. He was getting a checkup for his cancer. And I was talking to his oncologist. And his oncologist said that Mayo Clinic is doing studies right now where they're studying your pets, your dogs, and they're finding out that the toxins that are in your dogs are probably the same toxins that are in you. And so they can use that as a way of studying how can they change things in your body to make it so you stay healthier.
Right. So, the environment your dog is living in is the same environment you are. And that's interesting because, that comes, and we were talking about this morning, everything in and around your home, around your garden, what chemicals are you using on your garden? What's the air quality like probably in the house? Are you, are you cooking inside the house? What type of water are you drinking? Probably the dog's getting all the same stuff, right? So all those factors are going to be impacting both of you. And then, of course, there's certain things like I was mentioning this morning, I'm concerned because, my friend lets my dog chew tennis balls, which I hate because they're pretty toxic. And, well, of course, I'm not going to be chewing tennis balls, so you couldn't.
Right. So it's not going to all be the same. But generally speaking, if you eat healthy, you tend to feed your dog a little bit healthier. Or if you feed your dog healthier, chances are you have a healthy diet as well. I noticed that there's a lot of people who just go out and they buy the cheapest dog food, whatever's on sale, just to fill their dog up. But there's a lot of stuff in there that it's not good.
Was it you that was saying one time they can call meat, blood is considered meat. They can label that as meat, even though it's just blood. So they can just basically put any old junk into it and call it, meat product. But you're right.
They don't need to say meat product. They can say, protein. They can say, protein, chicken protein, and they can just suck up the blood from the floor where they're cutting up the chicken
and give it to the pets. I mean, because and we're talking about the triangle of life today, and you're right. My dog gets the triangle of life. I mean, he gets 5 mils of Eternity, 5 mils of Fucoydon, 5 mils of Eternity, Fucoydon, and Spectramaxx every single day. And
along with the age pill.
Yes, he gets that too.
I know I can't
quite see it, because of the background.
Yeah, but that's same with my dogs. They get their triangle of life every day. They get their body shield. They get their renovator and age pill every day. They get those products every day, and CBD. But every single day. So tonight we really want to talk about the importance of the triangle of life. And sometimes I think with all the new products and the new things that are coming on the market, it overshadows those products, right? You come out with the Sizzle Silver, great product. We've spent a lot of time talking about a great product. So people start taking the Sizzle Silver and they forget about the triangle of life. They start taking the age pill and they forget about the importance of the triangle of life. And I think that the triangle of life is like that foundation for your house. You have to have a good, strong foundation before you can ever start building.
That's right. 100%. And so those are the 3 products. So for those of you on the call who've just joined us, welcome. Thanks for jumping on. And if you're watching the recording, thanks for watching the recording. So we're going to talk about the 3 products today, and they make up what's called the triangle of life. And I know that in Tom's previous company, he used to call these products the Energy Trio. So he had 3 products and they call them the Energy Trio. So we call these the Triangle of Life. These products are certainly more advanced than the products that Tom had in his previous company because science has evolved and more research has come out. And so, of course, the products of today have a better impact or effects than the products of yesterday.
Sure.
And so that's what we're going to be talking about. So I'm just going to share my screen because I put together a few slides here for us to share. And let me just see here.
Thanks for taking the time to put the slides together. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. So, and we've got some great testimonials to share as well. So let me move this out of the way here. Yeah, so we'll start with, I guess, the Spectramaxx, which is the first product in the triangle of life. And actually, I can see it's cut off a little bit of text down the bottom there, but that's okay. And we're going to talk about, Spectramaxx first. So do you want to jump into the first product?
You bet. You know, Spectramaxx, I was sitting there believing that Eternity and Fucoydon were probably the two most important products that we had. You know, this was like, I want to say 6 or 7 years ago. And I was, my son and I were up visiting Tom Sr. at his log cabin up in the mountains up in Utah, and sitting out on the porch one morning having coffee. And I asked Tom, I said, hey, you know, if you had $50, because, you know, all three of these products are right around that $50-$60 range, US dollars. And I said, if you had $50, what product, if you could buy one product, what would you buy? And I was thinking he was going to see Fucoydon or maybe Eternity. And he said, no, he said Spectramaxx. And I'm like, wow, why is that? And he said, well, he said, you're getting a great value. He said, when you take a look at everything that you get out of that one product, he said, you're getting more out of that one product than you can out of any other product that we have. Now, this was before the age pill or you know, anything like that. But I still think he would say the same thing, because you got to have that foundation. And if you look at Linus Pauling got a couple of Nobel Prizes. And he said that if you have a chronic disease, you should look really hard at the minerals that you're getting in your body. Chances are you're going to be mineral deficient if you have a chronic health problem. So Spectramaxx has 74 trace essential minerals. And what that means is trace, you don't need very much. Essential means that your body can't make them. You have to get them from your diet. They have to come from your diet. So 74 trace essential minerals, things that you need, but you don't need much of them. And you look at any other multivitamin on the market, you look at any other product on the market, you know, the best that I've ever seen is I saw one that had 32 trace essential minerals. That was the best I've ever seen. Wow. And so that's a third of what Spectramaxx has. And then you add on top of that, it's got 40 broad spectrum antioxidants. And people say, well, why do you need 40 antioxidants? Why won't one do? And it's the science behind that redox reaction. How does an antioxidant actually work? Well, what it does is it either donates or it takes away from the toxin. But what that does is it creates another weaker toxin, and you have to reduce that redox, reduction oxidation. You have to reduce it actually 40 times in order to get that toxin down to a level to where it's not dangerous for the body. So that's why you have 40 broad spectrum antioxidants. And then of course it's got fulvic acid, the fulvate. And what fulvate does, it's considered to be a miracle molecule as it's pulling vitamins and nutrients into the cell. Once it gets inside the cell, it grabs the toxins and it pulls them back out. And so that it gets it out of the cell. And then of course it's got the B vitamins and the vitamin D and some zinc. And really, you think when it has all that stuff, they used to say, oh, if it's good for you, it probably tastes bad. Spectramaxx, all three of these actually have a pretty good taste, because Tom said that if you can't make it taste good, people aren't going to take it for the rest of their life. They might take it for a while, but then they're going to quit. So the secret to making a good liquid product is making it so it tastes good. So that's kind of my scoop on Spectramaxx. I'm gonna throw this little bit in there, since we want to talk a little bit about adding some stories to it. A friend of mine, he sold animal food. He was in the business of selling livestock food. You probably remember when we had him on one of our calls, and he said that he always talked to all the livestock people about Spectramaxx, because he said, if you fed this to the horses, if you fed it to the cows, if you fed it, of course, you're not going to feed it to a whole herd of cows. But if you've got that one, prize cow or something like that, things like that, you want to use this. Your animals, because they aren't getting those minerals, they aren't getting the antioxidants out of their food like they used to either. And so they need it just as much as us. So he had a huge market of just people that used it for their animals.
Yeah, fantastic. And often people will spend more money on their animals than they will themselves. So, for those animal lovers, because it's often sometimes people substitute their pets for children, or in addition to their children. And of course, our pets are a part of the family and really important part of people's lives. They offer, a lot of comfort and support. And, the world really wouldn't be the same without pets. I couldn't imagine living on a planet without pets. So, to take care of them so that they live a long, happy, healthy life is really important. And so we want to consider the nutrition that our pets and animals are getting as well. And as you mentioned about this product, it also has, a multivitamin aspect to it. It's pretty much got all the B vitamins, and you've got the vitamin D and zinc in there as well, which is really important. And it's just so easy to take, as you mentioned, Curt. It's just easy to take. We were talking this morning about, sometimes it can be a bit of a challenge swallowing, so many capsules when you're taking supplements, and, taking a liquid nutritional is just really easy.
It really is.
Yeah. So that is a little bit about Spectramaxx. One other thing I'll just mention there that, our soils really aren't what they used to be. And the vitamins and minerals that were in our food supply probably like 20, 30 years ago have diminished overall in the last 20, 30 years. That's why food companies all the time are fortifying products. Food companies have to fortify even white bread, don't they, Curt? Because if they didn't put nutrients back in white bread, it'd basically be devoid of anything at all. And the population would get really sick if they don't actually put some vitamins back into the food products.
That's right.
And I think a lot of people don't realize that. So that's our Spectramaxx. And now we're going to move on to Eternity. So we've got a few. So I said in the call, if you were listening to the little promotional blurb I sent out about this call, I said you'd learn 15 key reasons why you'd want to take the Triangle of Life. So I guess we've covered 5 there at least for the Spectramaxx product. And now we're going to cover 5 reasons for taking Eternity. And I might jump to the bottom comment because really Eternity has, a good amount of an ingredient called resveratrol. And Curt and I were just discussing this before the call. There's at least 350 milligrams of resveratrol per serving, which is a really good amount. And resveratrol acts on the sirtuin gene, which induces ROS, detoxifying enzymes that eliminate superoxide. So ROS stands for, Dr. Curt?
Reduction oxidation species.
Yep. So that really helps with, I guess, free radicals. And it plays a role in being a key polyphenol that is able to modulate the sirtuin expression of the gene and activation as well. So it also mentions there that it does play a role with the hippocampus area of the brain there too, Dr. Curt.
You bet. Well, let me explain a little bit about the SIRT1 or the sirtuin genes. Bottom line is that your body goes through stress. Even if you have one of the least stressful lives on the planet, if you're the least stressed out person ever born, you still have stress because you're exposed to chemical stress, like things in the air, things in the water, things in your food. And, and there's a certain amount of physical stress if you've ever had an injury and things like that. And so when you have stress, it damages the DNA. It damages the DNA. And what the SIRT genes do is the SIRT genes, the sirtuin genes, is, and specifically SIRT1, it goes out and it finds that damaged DNA and it repairs it. And damaged DNA leads to aging. It leads to aging diseases. And think about all the aging diseases that you can think of, from heart disease, cancer, lung disease, diabetes, neurodegeneration like Alzheimer's and dementia and Parkinson's disease. I mean, I can go on and on and on about all these types of neurodegenerative diseases. But so if you have the resveratrol, it activates the SIRT1 gene. The SIRT1 gene then combined with the fuel NAD. When it's combined with the fuel from NAD, it goes out and it searches out these damaged DNA and it repairs them.
Yeah, fantastic. So that's why, you want to be taking the Eternity product. And they've found that if you hold the product in your mouth for 60 seconds or longer, it increases the absorption through the mucous membranes inside the mouth by up to 400%. So that is a really good tip there with that. And they've also noted that in each serving, there's approximately 250 times more available resveratrol than the encapsulated form. So it's more bioavailable. Do you want to touch a little bit on that, Dr. Curt?
Well, I'll just say this, is that resveratrol is highly oxidized when it's exposed to oxygen. What it does is it reduces the powerful effects of resveratrol.
Right.
And so when you take and you put it into a capsule, that's not really preventing it from being exposed to air, from being exposed to oxygen. So it gets oxidized. So by the time you actually buy that bottle of capsules of resveratrol, you've already lost 70 to 90% of the effectiveness of that resveratrol. And so that's why you want to buy what we have here with Eternity. And not only is it a liquid form, but each molecule of the resveratrol is encapsulated and it's protected so that it's not going to be exposed to oxygen. It's going to be protected by this encapsulation. But then the way that we fill the bottle as well, we fill the bottle up with nitrogen, and then we pump the Eternity into the bottle. And as the resveratrol, as the Eternity is going into the bottle, it pushes the nitrogen out, and then we cap it. We put the cap on the bottle, and so there's no chance that product has ever been exposed to oxygen until the day that you open it up and start consuming it.
Yeah, and that's why, like with Eternity, you really want to consume it within, a month, and that's what the product's designed to be taken over the course of a month. After a month, that the active ingredient starts to, I guess, diminish, doesn't it? Because it's been exposed to oxygen then at that point for 30 days.
Yep. So it breaks it down and it starts to get less active. You bet. So it for the first 30 days, great. After that, well, still use it if you have one and it's taking you a month and a half to use it, keep using it, but it's not going to be as powerful as the day you opened it.
Yeah, so we're talking about when you crack the bottle, not if you're storing it on your shelf.
That's right.
So that's fine. And then the other thing too about this product, it contains a potent blend of fruit pigments, and so it's got grapeseed, green tea extract, coffee bean extract. In addition to potent antioxidants, it's got pomegranate, plum, raspberry concentrates, and it's just packed full of polyphenols. So it's really just a fantastic product for overall health. And you just
and it tastes great.
Yeah, it does taste great. I love it. It really is a great product. So, and you've just had some, and we're going to touch on Fucoydon in a second, but you've had some fabulous stories with these products. These are your go-to products, aren't they? The triangle of life. You cannot speak highly enough of them. You use them for yourself. You use them for your family. You recommend them for so many people with really just extraordinary, life-changing, phenomenal results with these products.
Oh, you bet. And people say, well, how much should I take? And because they aren't a drug, they aren't a prescription, I can't prescribe or anything like that. But what I can do is I can basically say, look, anecdotally, what we've seen with clinical results with it, using people that have had different kinds of medical problems, they've seen results. People have seen that they've gotten better. Their symptoms have improved. Their overall function has gotten better, and they start to function more optimally. One of my friends, he was using it with his mom. His mom is in her 70s, and she had a really bad case of some inflammatory disease in her joints, and I'm not going to list the disease because then that gets more like diagnosing, and I'm not doing that. But she had this inflammatory thing where her joints were all swollen up and in her knuckles, and she started using the Eternity. And lo and behold, I'm sure it had nothing to do with the fact that she was using the Eternity, but within 6 months, all of that swelling in her fingers seemed to go down, and she was functioning a lot better because of it.
Yeah, extraordinary. And we've got a picture of that. I'm not sure if it's the same person that you're talking about, but we'll share
Different
that
one.
test. A different one. So then we've, another person sharing a very similar story. So now we're going to jump onto Fucoydon, which was one of Sizzle's most popular products. So it contains a unique species of the complex seaweed, which is actually taken from Tonga, and contains 3 of the most useful beneficial types of Fucoydon. Fucoydon spelled Fucoidan, which you can do some research on PubMed, type in that keyword on the internet, and with that spelling, spelt differently, how I just mentioned then with the COIDAM, and you'll find plenty of research studies come up on that particular ingredient. But Sizzle uses U, F, and G, and so apparently most other companies only use one type of fucoidin.
Yeah, most of them only use the U molecule because
Right.
they don't know how to activate the F and the G. And so
Yeah.
that's one of the patents that Tom has on the product, is actually how he activates all three of the different kinds of molecules. So he can make the product just with that. He can make the product 3 times as powerful as anything else on the market. He owns the patent. He owns the patent on it. And so other companies can't do that. They can't make that claim, and they can't make a product that does that because we own the patent on it. So our product is 3 times more powerful just because of that reason. But then what Tom Sr. was able to do is he figured out how to sulfonate more of these molecules as well, the more of all 3 of the molecules, the U, F, and G. And that's the key to it, is that you sulfonate it, which means that you attach extra organic sulfur to the product, to these molecules, and it makes them that much more active. So really, bottom line, when you take a look at it, what Aaron used to always tell me, he said the product is over 3,000 times more powerful than any other Fucoydon type of product on the market.
Yeah, wow. So just, fantastic information there. It's also called, Fucoydon's referred to as mother's milk in China because of its powerful immune support properties. This leading professor or researcher, do you know how to pronounce that? Kashima?
I guess it would be Kagoshima, yeah.
Yeah, researcher, he actually said that Sizzle's Fucoydon is the most effective and powerful Fucoydon on the market. And this all comes back to because of the things that Curt's already just previously mentioned about the patents and how we produce the product. And also the point here, which is the last one on the slide, that the Mowers designed, engineered, and invested $3.5 million in one of the most important parts of the process in producing Fucoydon. And apparently that is the spray dryer. This allows the wet material to be broken down into fine powder, so its uptake in the body is bioavailable and actively utilized. Sizzle can then add more material to the formula to create the most efficacious. I always pronounce that word wrong. Help me out there.
Efficacious.
There we go, efficacious product available. And so for every 50 pounds of Fucoydon, Sizzle yields about 5 pounds of the highest, most efficacious material available. So, this is the really point of difference, the unique thing that Sizzle offers that no other companies have. We know they manufacture their own, they own all their own equipment. So we really know what we're getting, and it's straight from the manufacturing door to your table. There's no in between. We're buying direct from the manufacturer. So it's just, really a fantastic opportunity.
Actually, we have an agreement with the King of Tonga.
Yes.
And we pay the farmers, the undersea farmers, these guys that go down there and they harvest this. And we pay them directly, and so it goes right to the country, rather than having all sorts of middlemen. But Katie, did you know one reason why we get it? Not only because it's more powerful when you get it from Tonga, but another reason that we get it from Tonga?
It's the most pure waters.
Yeah, because if you take a look at where Tonga is situated, Tonga is way down in the South Pacific, and if you look at the like we have jet streams that carry toxins from all over the world. I'm not going to mention certain countries, but we're going to say it carries toxins from one part of the world to another part of the world, and it's making the whole world toxic. But in the oceans, there's actually a jet stream, an ocean stream that follows kind of the same path. So you have that ocean stream that travels up from Japan, and it travels north. And then as it's traveling north, it's picking up all those toxins along the west coast of Europe and Asia. And then what it's doing is it's going north, it's going up to the North Pole, to Alaska, and then it's coming down the west coast, but it's picking up all those toxins. And so where we get ours is from Tonga, where it's the cleanest water because it hasn't had the jet stream, it hasn't had the ocean jet stream to deposit those toxins in the seaweed. So we're getting the freshest, cleanest form of the brown seaweed that there is.
Fantastic. Extraordinary. So this is a testimonial I found. I sort of dug it up. It's an oldie but a goodie. It's back from 2013, close to when the product came out. I think, Curt. I'm not sure what year Fucoydon came out, but it was quite some time ago. And this was a person who'd used it on their daughter, a young child who had eczema, and had some amazing results. And again, we can't claim to cure, treat, or prevent any illness. You can see that her skin appears to be better when you visually look at it. You can see the before and after, and
Wow.
it's just really a great product there.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, this is a really this is another a story that's back from a while ago, but this is about sarcoidosis, and his name is Jack, and he was taking the two products Fucoydon and Spectramaxx together, and had some just incredible results throughout his journey, and really says that he wouldn't have felt as good as he did if it wasn't for these two products.
Yeah. Look at that lump on the side of his neck.
Yeah.
Look at that
Yeah.
lump on the side of his neck. Look at picture number 1. You can see that lump over on the it would be on the left-hand side of the photo. And
Yeah.
then look at photo number 2. You can see it. It's still there. Photo number 3, it's still there. Look at photo number 4.
Yeah.
It's almost gone. You can see a little bit of it. You can see a little bit of it. But look at photo number 5. Look
Yeah.
at how that swelling is gone. Look at how the swelling in his neck. He's got the same size neck, right? On
Yeah.
both sides. And that's that sarcoidosis. That's what it does. And so he got off of all his medications for the disease. He got rid of all the prednisone. And we can't tell you to go off of any
No,
drug.
absolutely not.
We're not your doctor. We're not your
No.
doctor. And we can't diagnose, we can't treat, we can't cure anything like that. But what we're saying is that, here's something that it's not going to interfere with what your doctor's doing. And so isn't it worth, at least giving it a try and see your doctor. When you have a disease, you want to definitely be under your healthcare provider's treatment. We can't change that.
Definitely. And so you were talking about, joint discomfort. This one was from a lady, Laurie Johnson, and her mum had been struggling with joint pain and had started taking the triangle. And she said that she noticed a difference to the point where she could move her hands without it hurting anymore.
That's right. And that's exactly what my friend up here said. The same thing. His mom was able to start opening her hands, and she would come to the testimonial meetings, and she would show us. And again, she was in her 70s. She was filled up with, with all that inflammatory disease,
Yeah. Yeah. Fantastic. And so, you've been using the products a lot with your father and everyone, that you've been recommending to be taking these products as well.
You bet. Every year we come across a lot of people who have just been diagnosed with a lot of chronic degenerative diseases, but there's people who have been getting some really bad news. They get diagnosed with cancers and things like that, and they get an expiration date placed on their life, and what do you do? What do you do? And some people that say, they'll ask me, hey, Curt, what we can do for it? And I like using these products, and again, we can't say cure, it doesn't cure. We can't say treat, it doesn't treat, anything like that. But again, if you can boost the immune system, if you can support a healthy immune system, if you can get rid of inflammation, if you can detoxify the body, if you can provide those minerals and those vitamins, those essential trace minerals that your body needs, it's going to make it so that your body can do what it's supposed to do. Otherwise, it's going to be making you out of the toxins that it's taking in. And that's just not good.
No, absolutely not. So somebody was just asking, how much? Do you know how much Spectramaxx they were? Sorry, Vicky was asking. They were giving the horse.
I think that they were giving the horse just probably a quarter dose of what we take. So if we take like in the United States, I say an ounce or a 1 ounce shot glass. So a quarter of an ounce, a quarter of a shot glass. So
even with the horse's size,
Yeah, you got to remember that animals respond better to nutritional products than people do.
All right.
So even though they might be bigger, they don't need as much.
Really? Wow. Good to know. Good to know. There you go, Vicky. So we just have these great products, and we've got a great special at the moment. The Christmas catalog is out. You can buy, it's a really good saving with the Triangle of Life. So, jump online, have a go at purchasing these products. They're great as a gift at the moment. They come in some beautiful gift wrapping there in some nice boxes with bows. And, it's just a great way to end the year with good health.
That's right. Even my son, who is a medical doctor, he called me up the other day, and he's 31 years old, and he said, Dad, he says, I'm starting to feel the effects of aging. And he said, I'd like to go on some of those products that you got. He said,
Oh, wow. I can't
right?
believe you said that, because your son, being a doctor, newly trained doctor, was so anti everything you were doing. No, that's rubbish. This is rubbish. And now for him to turn around and say, hey, what do you got over there? I suppose, because your dad is just having such, great results, and he's had it so many times, you can't ignore that anymore. I mean, that's wonderful news. Absolutely wonderful news.
Yeah, it really was and I didn't have to ask him. I didn't say, hey, when you going to get on these products? I mean, he brought it up to me. He said, yeah, he said, me and my friends were talking. He said, we're feeling the effects of aging. I'm going, holy cow, I'm 60 years old, and I never say that. I blame it on things like getting run over and falling off a mountain and crap like that. I don't blame it on aging, because aging is just a thought.
Yeah. And you take care of yourself with all the great nutrition and support and all the knowledge you have.
So, well, everyone, thanks for being with us and spending some time with us tonight. I guess tomorrow morning, if you're down in Australia, thanks for spending time with us tomorrow morning. And for, those of you that are listening to the recording, get back to the person that brought you here. Give it a try. I mean, and don't just say, oh, I'm going to try one bottle of this, and next month I'll try one bottle of that. They kind of been designed to work together. That's why it's called the Triangle of Life. And order all three and take a full dose. Take a full dose.
Mm-hmm.
If you've got some health challenges, take more than a full dose. I have some people that are taking 7 doses a day, and it's what they need, because their body is craving that extra that they need, and they may need that. And give it a good go. Use it for 3 months. Don't just use it for a week and go, oh, it didn't do anything for me. Use it for 3 or 4 months. Use it for 6 months. And I'll tell you what, if you don't think it was doing anything, go off of it. And you're gonna say, yeah, it was making me feel better.
Yeah. And on that note, I'm gonna go have some.
All right. Have a great day. Thanks
everyone. Bye.
Bye-bye.